When the economy of a country is not going well, politics is usually held responsible. But politics and economy are intertwined in more subtle ways. My impression is that they are both mediated by the same independent hidden variables. Uncovering some of these variables is the objective of this video. Economic performance is very different around the world. Some countries do well, some countries do less well, some countries did well in the past but now are not going so well. Some countries were underdeveloped and are now leaders of the global economy. Many factors can be called into play to explain this difference. Economists tend to think that economic policies play the most important role. Tax rates, incentives, the level of investments, and so on. I am convinced instead that a decisive role is played by cultural factors, and I will try to bring arguments in favor of this hypothesis. Let's take into consideration two European countries, Italy, which is my country of origin, and Germany, which is the country where I currently live and work. And let's compare their electoral systems. They both have a proportional electoral system by which voters vote a party, and since there is no automatic mechanism that guarantees absolute majority for a given party, after the election, parties have to form a coalition in order to be able to govern. This, I think, was done on purpose because both countries had a little problem with fascism-like movements during the Second World War and before. And as a result, the legislators after the war thought that it was a good idea to introduce a mechanism that would make it very difficult for a single party to take over the control of the country and to control the nation. Well, with these systems, with this electoral system, the proportional electoral system, in Germany there have been 24 governments since 1945. In Italy, 64. It is true that in the last 20 years Italy has experimented with many different electoral systems, but this hasn't changed the pattern of instability. Moreover, parties in Germany are always the same. They are called with the same names. It's the CDU, the SPD, the Green Party. In Italy, parties keep forming and disappearing at a very fast pace. Let's now turn to economy, and let's compare the economic performance of Italy and Germany. The economic performance was comparable until 1990s. In Germany, there had been the Wirtschaftswunder after the end of the war, and in Italy, the Miracolo Economico, which is the translation of Wirtschaftswunder, which means the economic miracle, of course. Now, Germany is clearly doing much better than Italy, and as a result, the GDP per capita in Germany is 50% higher than the GDP per capita in Italy. A key feature that differentiates Italian and German economies is the distribution of company size. We have this table in the lower part of the slide that shows that compares the distribution of company size for a number of European countries and the United States. And the green bar represents the percentage of employees of the workforce employed in large companies, companies with more than 250 employees. And this chart clearly shows that this percentage is much higher in Germany than in Italy. It's even higher in the United States. This means that in Italy, basically, the workforce tend to work in small and medium enterprise, and I would say more small and very small than medium. What is the recipe to set up and manage in an efficient way a large organization, be it a company, a private company, a public company, or any kind of organization? With a big degree of simplification, we can say that in a company there are two categories of employees, managers and workers. And let's say that they are the percentage of these two categories are 10 and 90%. Managers tell what to do, and workers do what they are told to do. Of course, as I said, It's a big simplification in a modern company. There are many more layers of complexity, many more roles. It's a much more sophisticated structure, but this crude distinction is useful to fix the ideas. Well, some might think that managers are the most important categories, but I tend to think that the opposite is true. And my hypothesis is that in Italy, workers are less precise and less disciplined in the execution of instructions, and there is much more room for interpretation. And people might say something like, "I think that this doesn't make sense, therefore I don't do it." While in Northern Europe, instructions are carried out without much discussion and much hesitation. In conclusion, I see the same dynamics in both Italian politics and economy. There is a cultural feature that we might define as an inability to collaborate, to reach agreements and compromises, and to work together. And this causes makes it difficult the creation and the maintenance of large organization, and causes both politics and economy to become unstable. Therefore, if Italy wants to change, this is the place where to start from. Stop blaming politics and work to change this cultural feature. Thanks.